Sushant Sareen, when Rahul Gandhi tells the world they are fighting not just the government but even institutions in India, and that like Pakistani deep state, the deep state in India is eating the Indian state. Is he on facts?
Yeah, Gaurav, frankly speaking, I can never decipher Mr. Rahul Gandhi. I can't even understand what he says. But I heard the excerpts of whatever he said in the UK, and the thought which came to my mind is that if you replace the word India with the Congress Party, and you replace the word country with the party, I think the speech makes a lot of sense. And you can just do that test yourself and it'll all start fitting into place. But to talk about a deep state in India by a party which ruled the roost for almost 50 years, if you lose an election, there is no democracy in this country. If the kind of monopoly you had of planting your own people on every single institution, and anybody who did not kowtow to you or your ideology or your beliefs was always denied any opportunity to do anything in this country, that was all very well and it was democratic and all institutions were functioning perfectly.
Okay.
Now that somebody else has, become politically ascendant and your family party has reduced and has diminished, you suddenly start bad-mouthing the country, you start questioning institutional collapse, and you say all kinds of bizarre stuff, abroad. If that is the kind of politics Mr. Gandhi wants to practice, he is welcome to it. I think that kind of politics is more suited for an Akar Patel, an Amnesty International, a third-rate NGO, rather than a serious political party.
Okay.
And increasingly, I think the Congress party is ceasing to become a serious political party.
Sanjay Jha, respond.
I think under this leadership, it has been diminished to a point where at least I don't take these people seriously anymore. I don't see anything of sense coming out of them.
Okay, Sanjay Jha, do you, like Rahul Gandhi, feel, for example, our diplomats, Indian Foreign Service officers, are they becoming arrogant? Because the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, insists it's not arrogance, it's confidence.
Well, Gaurav, let me just first respond to what both Mr. Sinha and Sushant Sareen have mentioned. Firstly, Mr. Sinha, with due respect to you, sir, I prefer the fact that Mrs. Gandhi proclaimed an emergency that lasted for nearly 2 years, called for an election and got defeated. It was a formal declaration of an emergency. But Mr. Sinha, the truth is, since the last 8 years, what we have seen in India is what I call as an undeclared, unofficial emergency. The climate of fear, the self-censorship that has happened, the very open, brazen persecution of individuals, which brings me, Gaurav, to the point that Sushant Sareen says that everything is hunky-dory. Well, I always believe that in any ecosystem, there are 50% of the people, or 51 or 52%, who are always going to be happy with the system as long as they believe they are in some ways collateral beneficiaries or they support it ideologically. The truth is, India has a serious deep state problem, and Rahul Gandhi, I think, has hit the nail on the head. And Gaurav,
India has a deep state problem.
Can you identify the deep state?
Let me explain that.
Sanjay, can you identify the deep state, please?
Let me finish,
One
Gaurav.
by one. Yeah.
Let me tell you, in India, since Mr. Modi has become Prime Minister, whether it's NIA on terror, and we all know about Rohini Salyan's famous statement, whether this is CBI, Enforcement Directorate, Income Tax, DRI, the accusations against the election system. There are accusations galore, and I do believe that at this point of time, India is vulnerable to an institutional massacre under this current government.
No,
there is an infiltration.
Are you saying that courts of law don't function in India?
Well,
we have no courts of law in India. That there is no.
Gaurav, let me tell you,
so what Rohini Salyan says is the gospel, and what courts of law may deliver their verdict is not to be taken seriously. Fair enough, sir. That may be your opinion.